And what I would love to share today is how to lead without losing yourself. And part of this is really a conversation around managing our energy levels. Because who has ever been in a place where they feel like they're maybe lacking a bit of energy, feeling more easily reactive, and there's many reasons that this can happen. The reasons that I commonly explore are maybe we're a bit low on our fuel tank, so maybe we're emotionally depleted, navigating setbacks, maybe we are mentally depleted, have too many tabs open in the brain, maybe we're physically depleted. These steps around depletion, of course, can make us feel like we're lacking energy. I also commonly explore the idea around direction. You know, when we're doing things for everybody else all the time and we're not clear on what gives us fulfillment and our direction, there's lots of areas to explore within direction. But when we don't have direction and we drive in all in all directions for everybody else, we reach the end of our day, pull in the driveway, wonder how it is that we got back to where we started, and that can certainly give us that sense of depletion as well. But the main thing I want to talk about today is something that I've learned from a great coaching friend of mine, Natalie, and that is around feminine and masculine energy. Now, I know for some of you this will sound a little bit woo-woo, and I'm okay to stand in that space because I have been in a space of leadership where we need to step into masculine energy. So let's just start by exploring what is feminine energy, what is masculine energy, what does it really mean, and here's what it means. Every single person has both feminine and masculine energy within them. So the masculine energy is ultimately structure. It's making decisions, it's purpose, it's pursuit, it's drive, it's motivation. If you can imagine a glass of water, the masculine energy represents the glass. Or if you can imagine a river, the masculine energy represents the banks of the river. It is the structure, and when we step into masculine energy, we are making decisions, we are guiding, we are instructing people, we are figuring out the next step. These are all masculine qualities that are needed in leadership positions. So we definitely need to step into masculine energy when we're leading teams. And sometimes we need to step into masculine energy for a variety of reasons. Now, here's the problem. We also need feminine energy. We need feminine energy for a number of reasons. Feminine energy, if you can imagine, is a little bit like the flow. So if masculine energy is the glass, feminine energy is the water within the glass. So we need both. The feminine energy needs the container and the masculine energy needs the water for a purpose. The same idea around the river. So if you can imagine, the masculine energy is the banks of the river, the feminine energy is the river itself, the flow. So the qualities of feminine energy is compassion, is release, is learning to receive, is being able to respond rather than react. And that feminine energy is a quality we also need within business, to be able to build team trust. But the other reason that we need it very commonly is actually in our relationships when we get home. Now, whether you're in a same-sex or opposite-sex relationship is irrelevant. I'm not talking with masculine and feminine, I'm not talking about gender, it's about energy. And for a relationship to work in a way that thrives is that you need polarity. You need one person to be more dominant with masculine energy and one person to be more dominant with feminine energy. And that creates polarity. If you have two very masculine energies, they'll tend to compete, and two very feminine energies, lots of other things will happen with that, but a lot of loss of structure and loss of direction. So ultimately, we need polarity for a healthy relationship. And what can happen to women who are navigating business lives is that very often we can have our masculine hat on when we're at work, which is a place that we need to step into some masculine energy. But then when we get home, we forget to take it off. And we don't give ourselves permission to step into feminine energy, or perhaps it feels a bit foreign, like it's like, oh, this is a bit weird. So that can have an impact on our relationships as a starting point. That's one starting thing. But the other thing that can happen is that ultimately we start to get that sense of depletion because we haven't given ourselves permission for feminine energy, and we crave something but we don't know what it is. And so, like I said, we do need both in our lives. Relationships need polarity. So it's very common in leadership to have that masculine hat on and forget to give yourself permission to step into feminine hat. Now, the other thing that can happen, and this is also something that I have experienced in my own grief journey, is that when we navigate setbacks, we have to step into our feminine energy. Our capacity to stay in the masculine it almost completely vanishes. And we feel like we're losing ourselves. We feel like I can't make decisions, I can't get clarity, I don't know what's going on. And because the body is saying, we need to step into feminine energy right now. And that means pausing. That means being present. That means being compassionate. That means allowing some space for creativity, journaling, writing, painting, whatever it is that allows that for you. And when you're navigating setbacks, it's hard to be forced to stop and step into a more feminine energy, but know that that is also a source of fuel for you. Because when you have that, you have, in the end, once that's fulfilled, you have tapped into amazing creativity, you have tapped into inspiration and ideas that exist within that realm. So the reason I share all of this is, I was speaking to a client this week about energy levels, and I sense that, very often we can talk on the surface about, regulating our emotions and managing stress and all of these things, and underneath that is an undercurrent of something that we're not managing well, and that is our feminine and masculine energy. And so I do explore this, of course, in one-on-one coaching when it's needed, but ultimately stepping in and giving yourself permission for short periods of time to allow yourself that feminine approach for a moment means that you restore some of your energy. And so allowing space for feminine energy, what does that look like? Stepping into forgiveness and appreciation. So a forgiveness might be forgiving yourself, it might be forgiving somebody else. Appreciation might be appreciating where you are, maybe somebody else. Stepping into that feeling of appreciation invites feminine energy. Feminine energy is more around being gentle and patient. And I don't know if any of you are navigating life's hurdles, but sometimes it does require some patience for ourselves. Because I think the level for us is an expectation that we can get through this, we can soldier on, we can keep pushing. And guess what? Sometimes you can't. And so sometimes that, and I can relate to this. So that sense of impatience of like, surely I should be fine by now, like surely I should be. But ultimately feminine energy invites us to learn patience with ourselves and patience with others, which means you can be more present. And presence is the true place ultimately where joy lives. When we're not present, when we're worried about, the future, thinking about all the things that we need to get to, when we're ruminating about the past and all the things that we haven't done yet or didn't get to, or the things that we're, ruminating over, those two places don't invite presence. Feminine energy invites presence. Masculine is, the planning. Feminine energy is the present moment. And when we can step into the present moment, and we can do that in a number of ways, mindfulness is one of them. So taking a cup of tea and listening to the rain outside. When we step into our senses, what we hear, what we feel, the warmth of a cup of tea, these senses, what we taste, so eating a meal but slowly, these moments take us out of our busy head and into our bodies, which gives us a short pause of mindful presence. And that is the only place where joy lives. in the end. That's the only place where joy lives. So to step into female energy, number one, give yourself permission, which means if you drive home from work, be conscious about taking a breath and saying to yourself, my masculine hat is done. I don't need to make any more decisions at the moment. I can put that to the side, be present, pause, be patient with myself, step into gratitude or appreciation, slow down. Number two is to understand that that energy is embodied in the present moment. So whatever you can to encourage yourself to step into the present moment will help that. It's not the only thing, but it will help. The other thing is that I encourage is to step into creativity, whatever that looks like for you. So creativity might be art. Creativity for me is speaking and writing. I've just spent the last week finishing my book, so I'm going to be publishing that soon, and I can't wait to share it with all of you guys. I will pop in the link soon so you guys can get an advanced copy. I can't wait to share that. But creativity might be writing, it might be painting, it might be dancing, it might be music, it might be just lying like a starfish on the grass and making pictures out of the clouds. I don't know, like whatever creativity is for you, you can define. So taking the masculine hat off, giving yourself permission, stepping into the present moment with gratitude, appreciation, forgiveness, patience, and then being creative are ways that you can start to restore some of your feminine energy. It doesn't mean you need to have feminine energy at work necessarily, because you do need to step into a masculine hat, potentially, depending on your role. But it does mean that you are aware of the balance that you need to create. Because when we're out of balance, that's when things start to go wrong. That's when we circulate, worried, essentially worried about the past, ruminating over the past, worried about the future, stuck in our heads, not sleeping well, are very reactive. All of these things are signs of nervous system depletion, and our nervous system can be depleted in so many ways. It can be hormonal, it can be our autonomic nervous system on fight or flight, but feminine and masculine energy is one of them. So I wanted to share this. I hope you've taken something away from this